apart from all the great performers on this tour, a tour for the ages, there are two that I want to talk about. Two vividly contrasting personalities. One so calm, almost throughout the tour, he portrayed calm and confidence. The other, wearing his heart on his sleeve, his emotion there for everybody to see, the joy when he was happy, the acute disappointment when things didn't go his way or he made a mistake. And between them, the two of them, as I said, in their contrasting styles, made this a series to remember for me. Let me start with the captain. I must admit, I was a little skeptical when Shubman Gill was appointed captain, not because I ever doubted his ability, but I still thought he had to prove himself as a test match batter at the very highest level a little bit more. He'd got his hundreds, he'd got his runs, but I just thought the best of Shubman Gill was still to come, that we hadn't seen the best yet. And I thought the twin pressures of leading a side, leading a very inexperienced batting side, dare I say, and having to score runs himself to justify being leader, being a top order batsman, I just thought somehow all this would be a little too much for him. My first surprise came when I heard him say right at the start of the tour that he wanted to be the top run getter. There's a reason I'm sure he wanted that, because when you're doing well yourself, it's much easier to ask others in your team, to almost demand from others in the team. It shouldn't be so, because when you're captain, even if you're not doing well, you should still be able to carry the team with you, but that's easier said than done. And I thought, he wants to score more runs than anybody else. He wants to be the top run getter. And I thought that was a wonderful ambition to have, purely as a batter, but also as a leader. I love this calmness. As I said right at the start, there was only one occasion when I thought he lost his composure, and that came at Lord's. We don't know Shubman Gill well enough to know whether he does aggression, antagonism in your face, well, as much as someone he so looks up to, as much as the great Virat Kohli, for example, whose game was buoyed and lifted by the aggression that was always there with him. You could see it up there, and he came up to you, and he was in your face. He didn't mind saying things. But that was what worked beautifully for Virat Kohli. I'm not sure Shubman Gill is that kind of person, and eventually, as a leader and as a person, and all of us in life, we must figure out who we are. And I think very quickly Shubman Gill went back to what works best for him. And I think he's here to stay. His leadership in the last half an hour, 45 minutes of this test match, where he was very calm, even when 10 or 11 runs were needed, just setting the field, taking his time, talking to his bowlers. But as Michael Vaughan said to us once, when you look out of the window onto the ground, can you tell who the captain of the side is? On the last morning, when you opened the window, you looked out onto the ground, you knew Shubman Gill was captain. Jikre liked one thing he did. He remembered Karun Nair at the end. It's very easy to remember a Siraj, a KL Rahul, a Jadeja, a Pant, but he remembered a 57 that Karun Nair scored, and saying Karun Bhai's innings was important for us. And that tells me straight away that he thinks of the little things, but now everybody is going to start respecting him for the person he is as much as for the leader he is. I liked one other aspect, especially about his batsmanship. I mean, he was almost perfect. It was interesting to see Ricky Ponting rating Shubman Gill's batting as his one single highlight of the series, because he just looked beautifully in control. But in that first test match at Headingley, he was on 147. He played a big shot of Shoaib Bashir and was caught. India lost that test match. And he said after that, maybe I shouldn't have thrown this away. I should have hung in there and got a bigger score. Guess what he did in the next test match? He went and scored 269. What a quick learner he is. I made a mistake. I won't make that mistake again. But I have this enormous self-confidence in myself to be aware that if I get to that stage, I'm not letting anyone off. I just loved so many qualities about Shubman Gill. I just hope he can stay the person he is, because success is going to follow him. All kinds of other influences are going to start appearing in his vicinity. And I just hope he has the enormous balance that he has already shown to keep all those at bay and remain the person he is for Indian cricket. Then there was Mohammed Siraj. So genuine, so uncomplicated. Maybe I should just slip into my own language, our own language, for the emotions to come out the best. सिराज, मैं जिधर भी मैं जा रहा हूँ यहाँ पे इंग्लैंड में, लोग एक ही नाम पूछने मेरे को कि ये मोहम्मद सिराज के बारे में बताओ मेरे को. मीडिया सेंटर में, कमेंट्री बॉक्स में सबका दिल जीत लिया आप। और उसके पीछे जो है एक एक चीज़ थी कि जो भी सिचुएशन हो, जो भी हो, आप जो है दौड़ के आके बड़ी ज़बरदस्त बॉलिंग कर रहे थे। दिल बड़ा है आपका मालूम था, लेकिन जो है अब मैं सोच रहा हूँ आपका दिल मेज़र करना पड़े ना, तो किस चीज़ के साथ मेज़र करूँ मैं? हमारे को फिज़िक्स लैब में एक मीटर स्केल होता था। अब मैं सोचूँ मीटर स्केल के साथ मेज़र करूँ आपका दिल या और कितना बड़ा रहता नहीं मालूम। लेकिन जो है मेरे को जब मैं आँखें बंद करके ये सीरीज़ याद करता हूँ, मेरे को आपकी बॉलिंग याद आती। बहुत आज दूसरी भी चीज़ें आते, लेकिन जिस बड़े दिल से आप भागते आ रहे थे पूरी सीरीज़ में, वो बड़ी ज़बरदस्त चीज़ मेरे को पसंद आई। और जो आप जब भी आप आउटस्विंगर डालते हैं, आप अलग बॉलर नज़र आते हैं, पहले से देख रहे हैं। और जो आखिरी दिन आप बॉलिंग करें, आप हर वक़्त बोलते मेरे लिए जस्सी भाई है, लेकिन आज जो है हिंदुस्तान बोल रहा है नहीं, नहीं, नहीं हमारे लिए सिराज भाई है। ऐसा नहीं कि जस्सी भाई नहीं है, लेकिन आज हमारे लिए सिराज भाई है, क्योंकि आपने इतने प्रेशर में, जब आपके दिमाग में 2-3 और चीज़ें चल रहे थे, आप जो है सोच सकते थे वापस जाते वक़्त कि जो है अगर मेरा नाम लेके कोई तस्वीर आँखों के सामने रखा तो क्या लॉर्ड्स की तस्वीर रखेंगे जो जो बॉल जो है हल्लू से गिर के स्टंप को लग गई? या वो कैच जो बदकिस्मती से आप बिल्कुल बाउंड्री लाइन के करीब थे, वो याद रखेंगे? लेकिन वो सब दूर करके जो है आप जिस खूबी से आके खेले ना, ज़बरदस्त दिल जीत लिया आप। आप अक्सर बोलते थे, मेरे को याद है आपकी एक कहानी कि जो है सब लोग जब गाड़ियाँ लेके जाते थे, आप हल्लू से आपकी स्कूटर साइड से निकाल के, कोई नहीं देख रहे, जब थोड़ा पेट्रोल डाल लेके भर के लेके जाते थे। अब मैं आपसे एक सवाल कर रहा हूँ, आपके टंकी में कितना पेट्रोल है? 5 टेस्ट मैच खेले आप, कोई भी और बॉलर 5 टेस्ट मैच नहीं खेला, क्रिस वोक्स खेला, लेकिन जो है 10-11 विकेट मिले, ठीक है, अच्छा बॉलर है। लेकिन आपके टंकी में कितना पेट्रोल है? आप थकते नहीं कभी? आपके टाँगों को कोई मोटर लगी हुई है? मेरे को लगा आज लास्ट दिन जब आप आएँगे, शायद थोड़ी थकान नज़र आएँगी, बिल्कुल नहीं। हम लोग जो है देख के थक गए, आप भाग के नहीं थके। आपके बारे में जो रूट एक बहुत ज़बरदस्त चीज़ बोले, गुस्सा देखना उनका, लेकिन वो गुस्सा सही नहीं है, आदमी अलग है। ही फेक्स एंगर बोले, क्योंकि जो है दूसरी टीमें भी आपसे उतना ही प्यार करते मेरे ख्याल में जितना आपकी टीम में आपको करते। और 2 चीज़ें करे आप, वो थॉप का हेडबैंड पहने और वो जोटा का 2-0 करे आप। इससे पता चला कि जो है आपकी इंसानियत सिर्फ टोली चौकी, हैदराबाद, इंडिया नहीं है, हर जगह है। और ऐसा ही आप रखें, मैं आपको एक वॉइस नोट भेजा था कि जो है आपको और कामयाबी मिले, जो मुश्किलें आप देखे, आपकी फैमिली देखे, उससे आप और स्ट्रॉन्ग होके आप जो है आगे बढ़े सोए। और पैर ज़मीन पे रखो, हाथ आसमान पे। मुबारक।
So thank you for watching and do subscribe to this channel.